Good morning, pals. I don't know why I'm actually using this cup, it's empty. Good morning, welcome back to the channel. If you don't know me, my name is Sherelle. I'm an artist, illustrator and drinker of tea. If you've been watching the channel over the last few weeks, you might have noticed my kitchen becoming more and more patchwork. I have decided to take on what's turned out to be the biggest art project of my life when I decided I could renovate my entire kitchen on a shoestring budget of £65. So I have been painstakingly repainting all the kitchen cabinet, cupboard, door things. I have been doing this really slowly in between other stuff, just here and there doing one door at a time. You can quite clearly see it is not finished. I have at least managed to finish all the bottom cupboards at this point, but I desperately need a break from this project because it's quite boring. I do not enjoy sanding things. They need sanding, but not just the doors that need sanding. All the like fascia and all the extra bits need doing as well. With the bottom cupboards, I managed to get away with like taking them off and taking them outside to sand them. It's not the case for the top ones. I need to sand like the cupboard ends and stuff as well, and they're fixed to the walls, so I can't just take those off and take them outside. Oh, that's my toast. I forgot I put toast in. So I'm putting off doing the top cabinets for a little bit longer, but I need something to break this project up because honestly, I have no motivation for it. In theory, if I can finish one part of this kitchen, I might be motivated to finish the rest of it. So my plan is to create some decor pieces. I'm not entirely sure what that's going to look like, if I'm honest, because I don't have that much of a plan, but I do have a plan for one particular item that I really want to do. The tops of my cabinets just get filled up with junk. Honestly, I am a hobbit. I am 5 foot and a sneeze, so I don't even like having top cabinets because I can't really use them. I can use the bottom shelf in all of them, but if I want to reach any higher than that, I have to get up on a stool. And honestly, it's annoying. I would have shelves instead and just fill those shelves with lots of trinkets, but we have too much stuff for that to be the case. We actually need those top cupboards to store a lot of our stuff that I don't have access to, by the way. What happens is the top cabinets just get filled up with junk that other people, my husband, put up there, and I can't get to this stuff. I don't even know where it belongs. I don't know what half of it is, if I'm honest, and I don't actually look up there all that often because I'm so small, but when I do look up there, I'm like, oh, this is horrible and I hate it. So what I want to do instead is fill the tops of the cabinets with decorative pieces so that it looks intentional, and I'm kind of going for a hobbity cluttercore vibe. I have no budget for this, so we need to make some decor items out of actual trash. So I'm going to start off with a stack of books. I kind of want it to look like a stack of recipe books, but I don't want it to be actual books because what I'm hoping to do is for each cupboard just have an entire display piece that is one fixed unit as such that just goes on the top of the cupboard and can be removed in one piece for easy dusting if and when I ever decide I want to dust it. Probably never. I'm hoping to do that for each cabinet, so I just want to start on this one over here for today because it's the one that's actually painted. I'm hoping that if I can see a complete cupboard with a complete decor piece on the top, then it will give me enough dopamine to continue on the rest of this project. I have a rough idea of how I can make this work. I've got a whole bunch of cardboard trash that I've been saving for the last few weeks, specifically for this project. I figured I could just bind these books with grey board, which I have tons of, and if I line the grey board with, initially I thought paper. I don't know how hard wearing that's going to be, and they might get really trashed really fast, especially in a kitchen. Not that they're going to be like on the worktops, they're going to be out of the way, so they probably won't get any like spills or whatever on them, but I just think that covering them in papers, especially because I was thinking of printed papers, I think they're just going to get ruined really fast. So what I think I want to do instead is go down the actual kind of bookbinding route and cover the grey board in fabric and use those as covers for my books. That requires some fabric, which I do not have, so I'm going to eat my toast and then we can take a trip to the charity shop. Petrol. Ugh, hate getting petrol. At this point, my car started making alert noises at me, and usually this would send me into a complete panic, but fortunately, I've had this before, so I knew exactly what to do. Bloody kids. Crisis averted, and it was on with the journey, but not before a brief musical interlude. I'm not standing still, I am lying away. Oh, woke up today, feeling the way that I always do. You gave me such a fright, I thought you was a ghost of a minute. Won't you sit you down, sit! Just the thought of it's enough to make you sick. And I'm telling you, them pussycats is quick. Okay, pals, I think that was a fairly successful shopping trip. I am very pleased with the haul I got and the amount I paid for it, so that's good. I'll show you it when we get home. Oh, I'm back. Oh my god, I have so much stuff. Oh, I'm laden like a donkey. Oh, this pile of wonderful stuff. Actually, I think I've got some good things here. What am I sitting on? Hold on. I'm not gonna lie to you, the office is a complete and utter state because I have not been in here since, not properly anyway, since before I made Gandalf. So that feels like a really long time ago at this point. But I am going to have to tidy up in here because I need to do what I'm doing here in here. Well, I don't need to, but it would be easier to do it in here. Let's see what I got from the charity shop. I mostly was looking for colours and textures in everything that I bought. Everything that I bought is clothing. I did also look for like bed sheets and tablecloths and that kind of thing that I could use as fabric for this, but there was nothing that was particularly suitable. So I decided I'd raid the clothing section, and I figured skirts was a good way to go because skirts tend to have bigger panels of fabric with less seams, so in theory more fabric to work with. Some of these things though, I'm like, this is really cute, and if they fit me, I won't chop them up. I feel like this is not going to fit me though, because that waist looks tiny. This I actually want to make into a curtain. I've kind of tried to go for colours of things that I could use again. The outfit I'm wearing today, I was just put this on and was like, it needs something yellow to tie it all together. And I found this skirt. So if I don't use it for covering fake books, I might use it to make something else. I don't think I would wear it as is. Not really my shape, but brand new with the tags still on. And it was £3. I also found a leather, I say leather, it's clearly pleather, it's not real leather. I thought this would make a nice book covering. It's quite thin. It's also like suede effect on the other side, so I could use that like reversibly. I can have some like leather bound books and then a suede bound book. I don't know if that's really what you would do with a book, but you know, we can go with it. A beige linen skirt. It has a little belt on it, which is, I think, completely detachable. So I will keep that as a separate thing. A lot of these skirts have zips on them as well, which I will cut off and potentially use for other projects. All the buttons and stuff I will cut off. So like there's not going to be any waste here, I don't think. I'm going to be able to use the fabric for what I want, keep the zippers and buttons and whatever else for other things, which, you know, is a win-win. Lastly, I have this green dress, and because this is a dress, oh my god, there's so much of it, a dress and not a skirt, there is a lot of fabric here. That first skirt that's kind of got the stripe effect on it, I think I want to make a curtain out of that, but if there's not enough of it, then there'll definitely be enough of this. I also picked up a sewing pattern for some dungarees, or like a dungaree dress, which I thought was very much my style. Do I know how to do this? No. Looking at it, it looks very complicated, actually. Considering I have very basic sewing skills. Does it give you any indication of the like difficulty of this? No, it doesn't. I have been kind of collecting sewing patterns a little bit as I see them. I don't have many. I think I've got 3, so massive collection. But the reason that I'm doing that is because I got this sewing machine recently and I'm determined that I'm going to learn how to use it. I have successfully altered a few pieces of clothing. Started picking up patterns as and when I see them because I'm like, yeah, I could do that. I could sew my own clothes. Can I? I don't know. We'll see. I have the audacity to give it a go at the very least. I also went and picked up some fabric scissors from the works because I've been using my late grandmother's fabric scissors, and while they are wonderful, they are blunt as heck. I have a scissor sharpener thing, so I have sharpened them. I don't know if it's done a lot, if I'm honest, but I've sharpened them, but they're really, really stiff and they need some like WD or something on them to like get them going again properly. I don't want to mess around with that today. Also bought some more fake ivy, which I already have some of here and I really love it. So I'm going to stick these in the kitchen as well. That's everything I got from the little charity shop haul. Charity shop and the range haul. These didn't come from the charity shop. I have also an assortment of boxes which I kind of just figured I would use as the base for books because they're all slightly different shapes and sizes, so I kind of just figured those would make good bases for books, pretty much. Really, I just need to get on with it. I might have to watch a video on how to bind a book. Not bind a book, like not the actual binding part, but the covering part. I think I know roughly what I'm doing, and it doesn't have to be perfect because these are never going to be opened. So I basically just want to make grey board front and back and spine, like a folding piece of grey board here, cover that in fabric with some glue, and just glue it around the edge of each of these books. I need to tidy up this office first though, because oh my god, it's a mess. It's a mess. And Gandalf's head is on the floor. He's just kind of like staring at me from the floor. He doesn't have a beard. He's got nails sticking out of his head. He's a bit Frankenstein. He doesn't have his beard anymore. I took that off. What the heck do I do with this? I don't know. But if you haven't seen my previous video, it was me making a giant Gandalf scarecrow. In case you needed some context. Enough of that. Let's have a tidy up and get on. Sewing patterns that I bought last time I went to the charity shop. This one has a bunch of different skirt styles. I haven't actually opened it to see if it's all in there. This one is for an adventurous beginner, which I feel like is just a beginner with audacity. So I think this one will be fine for me. This is for a dress, but I actually just like the skirt portion of it. See if I ever get round to doing anything with these. Before I do anything else, I want to measure the space that I'm working with on top of the cabinet and just see how many books or how many bits of things I can use or need to use to fill this space. I don't think I'm going to fill it entirely with books, and it's deeper than I thought, so I better measure it. As is often the case with me, do not try this at home. I'm still not big enough. Ugh. Well, that's a bit grim. 56 by 27. Oh crap, how do I get down? Ugh. 56 by 27. I need to write that down immediately before I forget. I really tend to work best when I'm not throwing boxes everywhere, when I have like a visual representation of the space. Sorry, I put the camera in a really weird place. I have to really bend down to talk to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to like mark it out on my desk with tape, and then I'll know how big or small I have to make these things. I'm just not very good at like measuring things as I go. I definitely do things in like a very visual way, and rather than measure things with a tape measure, I will like make a jig 9 times out of 10 if I'm trying to do something that requires an actual measurement. I just find it easier. Let's get some tape. Oh, I've lost the tape measure already. Oh no, I haven't. It's here. What did I say it was? 56 by 27. Just there or thereabouts. Oh no, wait. Have I done this wrong? Okay, so what was I doing? This is why I don't measure things, I just get confused. Yeah. And then go to 10. Okay. Now I know the space that I have to fill. So this is the workable space on the top of the cabinet. So basically what I want to do, and I do have some chipboard type stuff, like really thin stuff that I will probably use as a base, but whatever I make this decorative ornamental cluttercore piece to be, I'm just going to mount it all on a board and then just put the whole thing on top of the cupboard. Yep, we're going with it. Using grey board, but I've actually got loads of this like brown craft card and I might just use that instead. So the general idea is to take the boxes and essentially wrap them in a book cover. This isn't long enough, so I'll have to like glue some extra pieces together, but essentially wrap them in a cover which I will then cover with fabric, put back on the book, and then hopefully they'll look like real life books. I just need to do one and just see if it works, and then if we can do one, then we can do lots of them and it should be easy, she says, with the utmost confidence of someone who has never done this before. Trying to figure out how I need to do this. I'm not going to see this back part ever. You possibly might see the top, so I might add some fake pages onto this top part. You're never going to see the bottom, so I don't need to do anything here. And once all the books are like stacked together, you're not going to see the sides of some of them. So for some of them, I don't think I will need to completely cover the entire side. So I could get away with just having a piece of paper here that comes like part way down. But then should I just cover all bases and just do them properly? Because I don't want to run into issues later on. Yeah, let's do them properly. With that decision made, I finished up the cardboard piece, gluing 2 bits of card together to create more length. I went ahead and seam ripped a panel off the leather skirt ready to cover my first fake book. Then it was just a case of gluing the leather to the cardboard using PVA. I cut off the excess as I went along and glued down the edges and corners with hot glue. Not gonna lie, I did not have a great technique for doing this. I also didn't watch a tutorial like I said I was going to do, so I'm going entirely on vibes at this point. I also went ahead and spoke to the camera, forgetting I was in time-lapse mode. No idea what I said, cannot remember. Right pals, I do not think this looks too shabby at all. It's a book. I mean, I don't really know what more I can say. It really looks like a book. This actually really worked out, so I'm really pleased. The next thing I really want to do is, I guess, just like glue this cover to this box. I think I already said earlier, like you may see the top of this on occasion. Like the back I don't think I need to worry about, and the bottom I don't think I need to worry about. What I might do is just try and put like a really thin layer of air dry clay along here, and then just like score it loads and loads of times to kind of create the illusion of pages. And part of me wants to do this side as well, just so like, you're never going to see that side, so it's such a waste, but just for the sake of me holding it just now, I want it to really look like a book. I'll do the top at least and see, because I don't know if the air dry clay will even stick to this. Should I put some PVA on it first? And if I do that, do I let the PVA dry? I feel like I need to go and Google some things, because actually I have no idea how any of my materials work. Perhaps I should read a book. Google tells me I should definitely be using PVA for this. Coat it once to basically like coat the cardboard, even though this is already coated, so it would probably be okay, but I'm gonna just threw glue all over myself. Coat it once, let it dry, then coat it again, wait till it's tacky, and then you can just add clay on top of it in theory, so we're gonna see if that works. I'm just gonna do the top because I have several of these to do. 1, 2, 3. I have 7 of these to do, and if I do all the fronts of them as well, it's going to be a total waste of my time, and it's going to take me a lot longer to do. So I might just coat all of the tops of them real quick while I'm doing this. Once my glue was dry, with a little help from my trusty assistant, I got out the air dry clay and rolled it as thin as I dare without making it crack. That's going to pick up on camera, but rolling it with this thing has made a really good texture in there without me even having to add any texture. I don't know if you can see the texture. Can you? I think you can see it there. It looks really freaking cool, and all I did was roll it with this chopstick, which is kind of wonky, so it's made like a bunch of lines in it, and then kind of went over it a bit with a ruler. And then when you put it in the actual book cover, I mean, come on, is that not a book? No. Sorry, but are you not entertained? Look at it. This worked out so nice. So I need to wait for this to dry. I might not even bother to paint it because it's like pages colour. I am going to like paint stuff on all the spines as well once I'm done, but I think I might just, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I might sit and just do all the tops of these first. They can be drying overnight, and then I can do the rest of the covers for them tomorrow. Because honestly, this didn't particularly take very long. It's time consuming when you're figuring it out, and then once you figured it out, it doesn't take quite as long. So I might just go ahead and do like all the clay stuff just now, and then I can do more covers tomorrow. And literally once this is dry, I'm just gonna hot glue it in there, and voila, a book. Honestly, I don't know why I bother doing my hair before I go out, because I'm left with this. The wind and the humidity just... The printer made a noise. The wind... excuse me, will you pipe down? The wind and the humidity just do not do me any favours. Oh my god. I am constantly dropping this camera. It is going to break at some point. Good morning! I have recently become obsessed with fruit curd on toast. Today I have lemon curd. Yesterday I had passion fruit curd and it was very nice. On a nice little piece of sourdough with an Earl Grey. Chef's kiss, 10 out of 10, no notes. I do, however, have notes on yesterday's make. I did do a little bit more yesterday evening. I went ahead and constructed all the covers for the books, like the cardboard piece. I haven't covered them in fabric just yet, but you will notice I switched to making them with grey board rather than cardboard because the two that I made yesterday have really warped at the edges. And I don't know if it's from the PVA glue or if it's from the fact that I glued them onto the books too soon and the air dry clay was still damp and potentially that moisture has caused this kind of like ruffled effect at the edge, which is not what I was going for. I did, however, iron them down. I realised that I could take my iron to them and just flatten them out and it worked, but I've come back to them again this morning and they are wiggly again. So I'm thinking the reasoning for that is probably because the air dry clay is not fully dry and not because of the PVA glue. Potentially I didn't need to switch out to doing them with grey board. The fact that I have just means they're going to be a bit more sturdy and a bit less prone to warping, hopefully. So yeah, we just need to get those all covered in their relevant fabrics today. I do think the pages effect with the clay came out really, really nice. I'm super, super happy with that. I've added some little details to the spines of the book bindings. Yes, would you like to join me? Well, turn around then. You're gonna have to put your paws on my lap to turn around. Oh, lay down. Lay on my plate, lay down. Oh yes, it's a hard life, isn't it? I've added some little detail. Shh, quietly. Otherwise you have to get down. I have added some little details to the spines of the book, some of which needs a little bit more glue, if I'm honest, because grey board is not very bendy, so potentially I should have swapped the grey board out for the craft card on the details, or at least some of the details, but the grey board is so much thicker, so they're going to stand out quite a lot more than that very first one that I did. You can kind of see the ridges in it, but it's not as prominent as I'd have liked it to have been.
I know you're having the best time right now, but I really need to get up, because all my fabric is in the other room. Yeah, I need to go get that. I know, I'm sorry. I know you're so comfy. But I got to get up. You haven't got freaking clue what I'm saying, have you?
I did eventually move Frank from my lap, grabbed my stash of charity shop fabric, and set to work covering all those book covers.
Not in a million years. She cute, though.
I'm going to save that for the curtain in the kitchen. As much as it pains me to say this, I'm gonna have to iron this. say this is quite the stack of books. Okay, it has taken me quite a little while to get them all. I need to sit on the chair, Frank. Like, you're gonna have to move. It has taken me quite some time to get all those books covered in the fabric. And I went a little bit rogue with the yellow one because for some reason the fabric just would not stick with the PVA. The other things were like a cotton mix, I think. This skirt was just like full polyester and it was almost a bit, not shiny, but I don't know what the word is, like really, really smooth. So I don't think there was just anything for the glue to stick to. So that kind of didn't really work out. And I ended up gluing it on with hot glue instead, which has given it this like really cool texture. And I think I'm going to add some like weathering to some of these. So when I do that on the yellow one, I think that texture is going to show up even more. Not that I think you'll actually see it when I come to put this whole piece together, because it's mostly on like the front and back cover. It didn't come out quite so much on the spine, so I don't know how well you'll see it, but it's kind of a cool texture. I'm going to leave these for a little while to dry, and then I am going to come back later on this evening and possibly do some painting and start figuring out the designs for the spines, because obviously they're books, they need to have some kind of text or something on the spines. I've decided I'm going to take literature classics and turn them into food puns, since this is going into my kitchen, and that's what I'm going to put on the spine of each book. I'm excited to do that, but we'll be doing that a bit later on because right now I'm very hungry. Woo! Holy shit, it is warm in here. And also forgot I left this mess. Oh, good morning. My butt also has to fit on here, Frank. Oh, wow, that's incredibly bright, is it not? Good morning. Oh my God. This dog, honestly, is just taking up so much of my chair right now. You make the mistake of letting him up here once, and this is my life now.
Well, you're quite comfortable there, pal. I'm glad you are. 'Cause I'm not.
It has been a minute. Honestly, it's been several. I can't even remember particularly where I left off. I said I was going to come back in the evening and start painting these books, and honestly, I just didn't. I hit a wall energetically. I didn't actually run into a wall. That would have been embarrassing. And then I just really struggled to pick back up before the weekend. Then the weekend happened and we were really busy and I didn't have a chance to come back to my little book project. This is the first day that I've managed to come back in here. Several things have led to this. Like I said, it was weekend, but it was also bank holiday weekend, which also has then led into half term. So it's half term now and everybody is home. And I really, really struggle to get anything done when other people are here. I'm just too distracted. I have to work completely alone, completely in silence. We need to get on and finish these books today because I am done with this project, honestly. It's not even been that strenuous. It's been really, really nice to do, but it is just lingering on now. And I have other things I want to move on to. So I really, really, really want to get this finished today. I can't check that. I keep going to check this clock. It's not 9:30 at night if you can read that from here. I keep meaning to replace the batteries in that and I keep forgetting to do it. So maybe I'll do that at some point in my life. Maybe. Anyway, I want to get these books finished. I think it's about 9:30 in the morning. Oh my God, I choked on my tea. It is 9:35 in the morning, which is really early for me to be in here, but because I don't have to get up and do the school run and all that stuff, it's actually quicker to get in here. So I really want to finish these books. I need to start on the paint job. Yesterday I spent some time going through the designs that I want to put on these books, and I've left one completely plain. I might actually leave two completely plain, so I'm going to sort these designs out into which ones I really, really love and I want to use, and there might be one or two that I'm kind of like, actually, no, I want to put that to one side. But I did these designs digitally in the hope that I can turn them into stencils to use as a guide for painting these books. Actually, I think when I left off before, I said that I wanted to like do weathering and distressing on these books, and I do want to do that, but I've kind of decided it would be better to do that after they're painted. The paintwork needs to be distressed as well. And when I talk about paintwork, I mean like the designs on the spine. You wouldn't have a book that was like well loved with a perfectly painted spine. That just wouldn't, both of those things would distress over time. So I think actually painting the spines first is going to be the way to go. So I am going to get my silhouette out. I'm going to sort my designs out so they can be cut out into, I think, just cardboard stencils is going to work fine. Hopefully. I have no idea. I've never done this before. One thing I do not have, which I probably should have thought about for this project and I just didn't. I should have bought some fabric medium to mix with my paint, stop the paint from cracking on the fabric. I don't know what fabric medium is made of. I'm wondering if I can just mix a little PVA glue in with the paint. Perhaps that would work. I don't know. I need to do some Googling. I need to do some research. So wish me luck. Let's hope this goes well. Come on, wheel dog. Once the drawing files were loaded into the silhouette, cutting them out was easy enough. It did take me a few attempts to get the settings right because it has been a while since I last used my machine, and they did take longer than I thought to cut them out because they were quite intricate. They're not perfect because I actually didn't really design them with stenciling in mind. That is an oversight on my part, but they worked well enough for what I wanted. I have cut out all the stencils and transferred them onto the book bindings using just a pen for now because the stencils honestly were quite janky, so I just needed a rough idea of what I'm doing. I will take these and use these kind of markings as the basis for the books, but I think they look pretty cute. I'm wondering if I can just use my acrylic markers to basically just go over. Really like the brown on this one. I do want the leather ones. The brown leather ones I do want to be gold. So I think what I will do is do them in like a yellowish colour and then go over them with metallic gold paint, which we have somewhere in the house because we have no end of Warhammer paints in this house. So I can just use those for the gold. I'm thinking acrylic markers might work out really nicely for this. Did I keep any scraps of fabric to test this on? Now that would have been a sensible choice. Actually, this one I definitely have because that was a dress and there was absolutely loads of it. And this one, I can't remember if there's any of this left. I guess there must be. I've definitely got some scraps of the leather lying around. I'll find the scraps and do some testing. In the meantime, this took me way longer than it was supposed to, and now I'm hungry. I mean, I was hungry before I started, so now I'm starving. So I need to go and get something to eat, and then I will come back. Oh, look, they do look like actual books, don't they? Oh, I'm really happy with how these are coming out. Anyway, I need to eat something, and then we shall get back to the books. After a brief culinary interlude, it was finally time to start painting these, painstakingly, by hand, which took forever. Thankfully, you get to watch this in 10x speed, else we would be here for several hours. Really badly on this one, so I'm gonna go over it with PVA and then try it again. I think, which might require me to repaint the entire spine. And how much of this book are we going to see? We're not going to really see the sides of this once this whole thing is glued together, so I can really just go nuts on the spine. If it doesn't work out, then I don't really know. I can either ditch this one or I can recover it and do it again with a different fabric. I kind of like the yellow just to like break up the whole thing a little bit, but yeah, this is atrocious. I realised I did say I was going to test these and I didn't.
One eternity later.
Oh, this is taking so long, but I have now completed all the covers. There was one that I didn't put like a title on. It's just got a little bit of gold paint on there, but they are complete. Let me show you. I should have done this before I turned the camera on. They are complete. I think they look really freaking cool. They're not all glued together yet. I'm going to do that presently. I did go and like stain. I say stain. I put a wash on the top part where the clay was. So that's just basically watered down acrylic paint. And what it kind of means is you get this kind of dimensional thing because the pigment from the paint kind of pulls in all the grooves and then goes on sort of semi-transparent everywhere else. I might just dry brush these and make them a little bit whiter again, because honestly, these books be dirty, but I think they look really good. I'm really happy with them. Am I happy with all of them individually? No. Like from a distance, I think they just read as like old books. Get too close and you'll realise that they're not possibly quite as impressive as they first look. My favourite one is A Game of Scones though. I really love the white on the green there. But yeah, I think this came out pretty good. So the next thing I want to do is glue this all together because a lot of these bindings are not actually glued to the book body. Let me put these down. Most of the bindings are not glued to the actual book part yet. So I need to glue all that together. And I said I wanted this to be like one piece that is like I can just plonk on top of my cupboard and leave as one decorative piece. Now these books aren't quite enough to fill the entire space, so I am going to put some other things on this kind of board that I'm creating as well, and I'm not entirely sure if I want to glue those down because some of them will be like actual items, as in not fake things made from trash. I'm intending to put a plant pot on there. I found in my shed the other day a little wicker basket, which I thought might make a nice kind of backdrop because I've got a gap at the back that I kind of need something taller in to fill. So I haven't quite thought all this through yet, but getting the books done was like the main bulk of the thing. And then everything else is just like assembling stuff. So I'm going to get these glued together and then we'll figure out exactly what this finished piece looks like.
The very last thing to do was to glue all of these fake book bindings onto their fake book insert counterparts, and then it was time to see the whole thing come together.
Do you even read, bruh? No, me neither, because if I did, I wouldn't be making fake books, would I? I was going for librarian with this outfit, but honestly, I don't think it reads. Apparently I do not have any librarian clothes because I am not a librarian and I don't even really read books, which is why I had to make a load of fake books because I don't actually have very many real books in my actual house. I am cultured, I swear. I don't read much. I listen to things. I watch documentaries. I don't read books. I'm sorry. A few notes on my fake books. There's not that much I would really change if I was going to do this again. There were a couple of things I figured out along the way. The first book that I made, which is this one, The Hunger Games, I centered the box inside the book binding so that there was kind of this gap at the bottom, and then realised that I shouldn't really do that. If you were binding an actual book, this is how you would do it, but I'm not binding actual books, and I wanted to glue these things down. I then needed to make the bottom completely flush. That is one thing I would do differently next time. Secondly, like I just said, I fully intended to glue this thing down, but I changed my mind on that at the last minute because I might want to use these books for something else. And I have recently discovered museum putty, which is essentially a putty-based glue product that is reusable. So they use it in museums and exhibitions and other kinds of things where they want stuff glued down but not permanently. I am yet to order some of this. It will be something I definitely look into for this kind of project again, because rather than gluing the thing down permanently, you can use this museum putty and it basically works like a glue. It's really strong, stops things from moving around, but you can peel it off when you're done and it doesn't damage the item that you're gluing down or the surface that you've glued it down onto. So that is something I will definitely consider in the future. There is a fly in here. Go away. Thank you. I do still want this to be easy to kind of pick up and move for cleaning purposes, potentially. So I think museum putty would be the way to go for that, because I can put everything on a board and then have it non-permanently glued down. I also said through this project that I was going to weather the books and put some stain on them and make them look a bit more aged, and I did it on one of them, hated it instantly, didn't do it on the rest. So I did it on the Grape Gatsby book, and immediately was like, oh, I'm regretting this decision, but I've committed now, so I'm just going to go with it. So I did it for that one book, but I didn't do it for any of the others because I just didn't like the way it came out. Could I have done some weathering on the leather? Wow, that's hard to say. Probably, and maybe I will at some point, but I think maybe I could just get some, like, I don't know, black shoe polish or something on that and just like weather the edges. Possibly, but for now I'm just going to leave it as is. This project has taken up enough of my time already. I am super happy with it, but it has taken me absolutely ages and I want to be done with it so I can move on to something else. It's a fairly simple project and fairly easy to execute, incredibly cheap because I did not have to really buy anything aside from the fabric that I covered the books in, but again, that was really cheap because I got it from the charity shop and I have loads left over. So I'm kind of not really counting that as a cost towards this project because that was just stuff I was going to buy anyway. I need kind of scrap fabric to learn to sew anyway. So, you know, it was kind of a 2-in-1 thing and I have loads of this fabric left over. This has been a very simple, easy and cheap way to add some whimsy and add some joy into my kitchen. I hope you have enjoyed this one, pals, and I will see you next time. I've just realised after the fact that the Life of Pi and Fantastic Feasts titles are technically done wrong. Apparently the conventional norm is to do the title from top to bottom, not bottom to top the way that I've done it. And the reason for that is that if you lay the book flat on a table with the front cover facing up, the way I've done it, those book spines would read upside down. So in this particular case, it doesn't really matter, but that's really annoyed me that I've technically done those the wrong way, but I still think that they look cute.